for 2 microphones passing in the night right there. So one of the first things that I wanted to talk to you about is the difference between open records, like David talked about, your voting records, and the privacy that, the digital information that you're giving up and you're not even realizing you're giving up, and what you want to protect from everyone except for the NSA and Facebook, but from the casual creeper. So the first thing I want to talk about is data, is we're creating tons of the stuff. It's around us, it flows through us, it's like the force. And where does this data live? Well, it has to live someplace. So 1/3 of all consumer data will live in a place called the cloud by 2016. And so data is like rabbits. It reproduces exponentially by everything we do. What we're doing right now, we are creating data if you have a smartphone on you. So keep that in mind by what you upload, what you download, and what you browse. So by 2016, gigabytes are out and zettabytes are in. And if you don't know what a zettabyte is, it is 1 trillion gigabytes. And this makes Alex very happy because it's going to help his robots take over the world. So keep in mind that we're giving all of this data away for free. And if you think, well, with all this data, I'm pretty safe, it's like a needle in the haystack, well, you're wrong, because organizations like the NSA or your favorite consumer brand are finding new ways to aggregate that data and bring intelligence out of it so that they can act upon it in some way. So what can you do about it? We're so angry, it's like, this is my privacy. Well, I'm going to give you 5 things that you can do during this presentation, once you leave, and when you get home tonight. And we're going to start with the basics. And the first thing to do is to protect your network. You might think it seems pretty basic, but you'd be surprised how many people forget to set a Wi-Fi password in their home network. Your neighbor is stealing your Wi-Fi, people. Stop doing it. Create a guest network for when you have creepy relatives over to stay. You never know what Aunt Judy is up to on the internet. And then be mindful of what you're passing over public free networks like the Starbucks or the public library. Is it financial information? So be mindful of what you're sharing online. Second thing is Google yourself, and do it often. And I know it kind of sounds kind of risque, but you do need to Google yourself. And so the reason you want to do that is like, what's under your name? What's under your favorite username? Is it you? Is it accurate? And is it something you want seen on the front page of Google page results? So set up periodic alerts. Google Alerts, it's free to do it, and you can set up how frequently you want them. Then there are other tools like Mention and TalkWalker, and if you need the big guns, you can pay for a service like Reputation.com. So the third thing, geolocation. Our phones are wonderful. They enrich our smartphone and mobile experience, but they're also double agents. They're sending information back and forth about where we are, what we're doing, how long we've been there, and possibly using that intelligence to track our habits and our patterns. So the first thing is turn off the location services on your camera. Think about all the pictures you take at home and then you upload to Twitter, to Flickr, to Facebook. You're essentially providing a map to your house. Next thing, Foursquare, great service. I love it. I use it. I like to know where my friends are. But be aware of who's following you on that because you're giving up your patterns when you do that. The third thing, even Facebook is getting into the action, is now you can control what friends can see you and for how long. Ryan can see me for 2 hours, my precise location until today at 8 p.m. So it's getting pretty intense with geolocation services and what we are freely giving up to the robots that are out there. Fourth thing, online directories. These are basically good old-fashioned white pages gone digital, and they pull from open records like the Oklahoma Tax Commission, Facebook, things that are publicly available, and they aggregate them together. And while it may seem pretty innocuous, like, oh, look, there's Edmund for Lanie, and yeah, that's my house, and guess what? There's my Facebook profile avatar right there. And you're thinking, oh, well, that's not too bad. It's kind of like, the phone book. Well, when it gets into the details is where it starts to get scarier. Well, there's my middle initial and my age, which I blocked out for this presentation, and my street, everything except the number, and then down there where that white line is, that was the cross street. You could find my house pretty easily if you decided to sit on the corner. But they don't make it easy. They put little privacy links down at the bottom, so you have to click there, go through all the instructions, but you can remove your entries. And so you need to do this for your household, for everyone who lives in your household. Yes, Mom and Dad, I did it for you guys already, and Dale. So we've protected our house. Last thing, Facebook privacy settings. Facebook is always changing. They're always changing their privacy settings. So know them, use them, pay attention to them. Last thing is curate to your audiences. You can create custom lists and audiences within Facebook for your posts. So you can control who sees what post, whether it's your coworkers or your family. So my name is Lanie. Tweet me, and remember, I've got my eye on you. Thank you.